Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talkin' Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. I see that Canelo Alvarez is bulking up for his big fight against Dimitri Bivol coming up soon. We see that Tyson Fury is getting excited about his upcoming fight with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is certainly not speaking much, I must say. But anyway, it's going to be an exciting month upcoming. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Errol Spence because he says Crawford discussions can begin after the US fight. So I assume he's going to win. Anyway, let's have a quick look at all the news fit to print, courtesy of our friends at boxing247.com. We see that Zack Shelly is going toe-to-toe against Jack Kilgannon. That'll take place at the Utilita Arena in Newcastle, England on the 2nd of April, which is tomorrow night. Undefeated Jack the Cannon Kilgannon will now face rival Zack Shelly at the Utilita Arena in Newcastle in a battle of the super middleweight prospects on the undercard of the Savannah Marshall WBO World Middleweight title defense against Femke Hermans. And I'll have some quotes from those two young ladies coming up later on in the show very shortly. Oldham's Kilgannon, who's 11-0 with 3 knockouts, replaces Diego Costa, who was announced yesterday but was unable to make the required weight safely at short notice. And it pits two fiercely proud up-and-coming talents who are willing to face each other on the rise in their careers. To his credit, former Southern Area champion Shelly, who's 11-1-1 with 5 knockouts, is not fazed by the late change and wants to go on with the job and deal with whatever's put in front of him to prove he is the real deal. Where have we heard that before? Fulham, as Shelly said, I'm ready no matter what. I believe a boxer has to be prepared to face anybody at any time, and I'm fit and ready, and I'll deal with whatever Kilgannon brings to me in the ring on the night. He's unbeaten like Costa was. Kilgannon's 0 will have to go instead. Awesome. Good fighting going on in Newcastle. Let's fly across the pond to Dearborn, USA, just outside of Detroit. Once again, my favorite name of a venue, the Lincoln Ballroom of the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center in Dearborn, Michigan. That's in the United States of America. Has a fight taking place tomorrow night, April 2nd as well. The full card has been announced. It's called the Detroit Brawl. I've mentioned it before, but now they got the full card announced here. Presented by our friends at Salida Promotions, 5 fights are scheduled in support of an 8-round main event featuring the return of Detroit's undefeated lightweight Eric De Leon, who's 19-0-1 with 11 knockouts, taking on hard-nosed Mexican City veteran Juan Jose Martinez, who's 28-11 with 20 knockouts. In the main supporting bouts will be undefeated former amateur star and professional middleweight Timur Kirikov, who's 12-0 with 6 knockouts, taking on veteran Cleotis Pendavis, who's 21-9-2 with 9 knockouts. That'll be an 8-round showdown. WBC number 9, IBF number 15, and WO number 14 light heavyweight Ali Ishmailov, who's 7-0 with 5 knockouts, will face Chile's Abraham Tebas, who's 7-0 with 3 knockouts of his own, in an exciting 10-round battle of undefeated 175-pound sluggers. In a special showcase bout, Las Vegas, via Israel super flyweight David Alaverdian, who we've mentioned before and in fact interviewed here on Talking Fight, who's now 5-0 with 4 knockouts, will make his United States debut in a 6-rounder against Hungary's Gino Tonte, who's 9-9 with 8 knockouts. Undefeated Grand Rapids, Michigan-based lightweight star Joshua Pagan, 1-0, 1 knockout, is slated for battle against pro-debuting Virginian Jude Hamad in a 4-round special attraction. Also scheduled for action is current WBC US NBC silver heavyweight champ Brandon Moore, who's 11-0 with 7 knockouts in an 8-round heavyweight showdown against Curtis Harper, 13-7 with 9 knockouts of his own. So good stuff from Dimitri Salida at Salida Promotions, and good luck to all those fighters tomorrow night. Elsewhere in America, we see that Tamir Smalls is going to face Jorge Garcia on April 23rd down in Philadelphia. home of Tim Witherspoon. Taking place at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia on April 23rd, on the heels of promoting a surefire fight of the year, RDR Promotions will be right at the 2300 Arena on Saturday night, April 23rd. In the main event, undefeated welterweight Tamir Smalls out of Philadelphia takes on veteran Jorge Garcia in a bout scheduled for 6 rounds. Smalls is 7-0 with 4 knockouts, and the 22-year-old is a 3-year professional coming off a first round stoppage over Seth Basler back on February 19th in Massachusetts. Garcia, who's 37 years of age, out of Buenos Aires, Argentina, is 13-8-1 with 3 knockouts. He's a 16-year professional coming off a defeat to Giovannis Barraza on April 29th, 2021. In the 6th-round co-feature, Jabril Noble, who's 3-0 with 2 knockouts, takes on Nazir McKinns, who's 2-1 with 1 knockout in a battle of Philadelphia-based super featherweights. Noble has been impressive in disposing of his first 3 foes and is coming off an opening round stoppage over Joseph Santana on February 26th back at the 2300 Arena. Mickens, who's 26 years of age, is coming off a decision loss to Jordan Murphy back on February 24th, also taking place in Philadelphia. A massive undercard has been assembled, and the 6th-round bouts we see Edgar Cortez going toe-to-toe against Gawar Yawa out of Philadelphia. Now, Larry Friars out of Yonkers, New York, is going up against Raekwon Butler out of Brooklyn, New York. Isaiah Johnson takes on an opponent yet to be named. Eric Tucker is going out of LA, taking on Kieran Hooks out of Philadelphia. And in some 4-round bouts, we see, wow, it's going to be a big, long night. Angel Pizarra taking on an opponent to be named. Brandon O'Callaghan, same thing. Leonidas Sapridanis is taking out of Greece. Is taking on in the welterweight division an opponent to be named. Boma Karma, three battles so far, 2-0-1 out of Pennsylvania. Squabbles with Joshua Zimmerman, who's 0-8, fighting out of Baltimore. Devin Tomko, 7-2 out of Toronto, takes on an opponent to be named in a super middleweight fight. And Denzel Fudd, 0-2 out of Barrington, New Jersey, scraps with Suslan Azlabarov, who's out of Philadelphia, and he's got an 0-1 record. Anthony Young, 0-4 out of Philadelphia, will fight Raheem Cook, 0-2 out of Philadelphia. So lots of scrappy action to take place, a lot of young fighters to make their name in the sport, and congratulations to all those fighters who are making it this far in their career, and good luck to them on the 23rd of April. As I promised, we see that we have some quotes coming out of the Savannah Marshall and Femke Herman's face-off down in Newcastle. Let's have a quick look here, see what we got. The defending champion, Savannah Marshall, is immune to distraction, is not looking past the Saturday night's bout against the hard-hitting Hermans. I've got tunnel vision when it comes to who I'm fighting, says Savannah Marshall. I know I can't overlook Femke. This is definitely my toughest fight to date. She's a former world champion. She's only been beaten by world champions, so I'm expecting a tough fight. Everyone keeps asking how I can focus on Femke when everyone's talking about Clarissa. But the thing is, everyone's been talking about Clarissa for the past 4 years. She's always been creeping about in the background for me. This is nothing new. A win on Saturday means there is nothing stopping me setting up a massive fight between me and Clarissa in the summertime. Femke Hermans, for her part, said, I'm in very good shape. I've had a great training camp. Everything's fallen together in the last month, and I'm ready to kick some ass on Saturday. I'm going to do everything I can on Saturday. For me, it's a big chance to get back at the highest level after some difficult years. I'm going to give everything on Saturday so I can take the belt home, so I can be the WBO champion in 2 different weight classes. Good for her. Awesome stuff. All right. On we go to Detroit, taking place at the Garden Theater on the 15th of April. Jericho Oquinn going toe-to-toe against Gilbert Alvarez. It's courtesy of Lee Baxter Promotions, a chap out of Toronto, is proud to announce our next event, Broadway Boxing, in association with DeBella Entertainment and Day One Records at the Garden Theater in Detroit. Next Generation, it's called, will be streamed live and exclusive on UFC Fight Pass starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That'd be 5:30 Pacific Time. Headlining the event is heavyweights Mike Bullagum, who's 18-0 with 14 knockouts, and Ahmed Hefni, who's 13-2 with 5 knockouts. The co-feature for Next Generation is an 8-round bantamweight matchup between Jericho Oquinn, 14-1-1, 8 knockouts, and Gilbert Alvarez, who's 22-2 with 7 knockouts of his own. Gilbert Alvarez is a Filipino boxer, unbeaten in his last 6 fights, holds the record, as I said, 22-2, wants to continue his unbeaten streak against Oquinn. Alvarez, who hails from Manila, Philippines, is ready to give the fans a fight to remember. His most notable win is the current WBO World Light Flyweight Champion, Jonathan Gonzalez. Also on the card, we see Joshua Ortiz going up against Derek Murphy, Michael Peroton going up against Jonathan Gruber, and Sean Brewer, who's undefeated, 2-0, is going up against a fighter to be named soon. As I said, that fight will take place on the 15th of April in a couple of weeks at the Garden Theatre in Detroit, courtesy of our friends over at Lee Baxter Promotions here in Toronto and his good friend Lou DiBella. Right, we're moving back to England for our next story, where we see Kirsty Babington is set for a European title tilt against Tamia Bellick, and that'll take place on May 6th. The event's called Havoc at the Hangar. The Hangar Event Centre in Wolverhampton, England, on May 6 hosts a fight between Kirsty Babington, who's taking on Hungary's Tamia Bellick for the vacant EBU European welterweight title, and that'll be in her hometown, by the way. So Babington, who's 5-2-2, takes on Bellick, who's 5-4, at the Hangar Event Centre on 6th of May. She's joined by a host of local fighters, including Jermaine Osborne-Edwards, Connor Walker, Ollie Cooper, Alex Round, Andy Owen, Ryan Cotterall, and Liam Gould. So again, another fight where we see women being the main event, the main attraction. Good stuff for women's boxing, and good stuff for those people down in Wolverhampton. Did I notice? I didn't notice it was being aired anywhere, but I'm sure one of the local broadcasters will pick that up for sure. If not, I'm sure we'll see those results on YouTube. Thank you once again for joining me here on Talkin' Fight for another episode of the news today. Remember to like, share, subscribe the Talkin' Fight channel, and hit that notification bell, please. And I'll see you at 4 o'clock today with Mike Orr at 4 for Knuckle Up. Thank you very much.